So when we talk about innovation, there are three basic steps. First, you have to come up with an idea. The idea can come out of a problem statement. It could become because you're lazy, you want to do things differently. It could be a need. It doesn't matter. Then the second thing we'd have to do, you have to create something, product or service, something people can touch and try out. And then before you sell it, you want to validate it. If you don't validate it, how do you know that this will be a sustainable business? But what is even more interesting is the term disruptive innovation. Now, when we think about disruption, again, we think about Silicon Valley, we think about high tech, but it doesn't have to be the case. Disruptive innovation is a term coined by Clayton Christensen, Harvard professor, in his book called The Innovator's Dilemma. The contradiction about disruptive innovation, a lot of the time something that's simpler will actually flourish in a different market. The word market is key. So if I'm doing business and I see other people doing good business selling a product or service, I will do the same slightly differently. But that doesn't have such mileage. What could be interesting in disruptive innovation, the concept is you create a new market. So the key phrase from Clayton Christensen was, you compete against the non-consumer. So instead of thinking, this is my traditional consumer, if I can find new consumers that nobody else has identified, they are mine. And my challenge is to keep on being relevant for them. We can think on the other side how the mighty have fallen. Think about the maker of your first mobile, Nokia. Where are they now? They stopped being relevant in some way. But we can be relevant in different ways. I always use this example about a company called Cavin Care in India. They were selling shampoo to the middle class in India. The bottle would cost $3. Now they thought, if we try to sell this to people with more money, we have a problem. More marketing bill, we have to change the texture and the product itself, we have to change the packaging, that's too much. How can we sell shampoo to people in India living on $2 a day who normally use hard soap? They thought about it, they had a good group of people together, they had focus groups, and they came up with something so simple, it was incredibly disruptive. They came up with the idea of selling the shampoo in individual use sachets, which cost a few rupees. And they would sell this in the little shops, in the little villages all around India. That isn't high tech, but they disrupted the market, it was completely successful. So the families with very low income, what they would do, they'd try the shampoo once or twice a month and aspire to buying the bottle. That model has been used by the big firms like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, to sell other types of product, also detergent and creams. Think about the mobile phone. Now, would a farmer in China or Africa, India, would they have had a smartphone 15 years ago? Probably not. They all have them now. They are not the $1,000, $500 phones that we have. They're the maybe $50 smartphone. But thanks to that, they have access to new technology. They have something they didn't think that they could be a part of their lives, and it's become something that they cannot live without. They get the price of the crops there. It's their one device connected to internet, which they will use for different things in their lives. And it will also provoke other types of innovation. The most advanced mobile phone payment systems in the world are coming from Africa, from East Africa, from Kenya. And they come from these basic smartphones who everybody has. And also it's a technology that helps them to make their life easier. They have one device connected to internet. It's very hard to move around. Logistics are bad. So they need something that can solve their problems all in one device. So those simple mobile phone and payment systems being used in Africa will come to the more consolidated markets, for example, the UK. So instead of thinking how everybody else does business, think about how you can attract customers who are not normally your customers to become them, and how you can stay relevant in that market. You will have no competition that way. It can be based on service, it could be based on an emotion, it can be based on different things. So a diverse pool of people in your team will also help that to become a reality.